Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports-A-Delic. Like I told you, we talk about sports and we talk about everything else. I have my girl Angie Davis here, the baldy babe of the year, representing and putting alopecia awareness on the map. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. I was scouring through Facebook and, it seemed like you getting awards, you done turned into a celebrity overnight. And so I said, let me grab you. Let me grab this interview, while I still can. So thank you for gracing me.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It's the least I can do. What I wanted to do, I think this is important. We talked about this before. Um, Everyone that has alopecia have similar and different paths. The same type of alopecia or maybe a different type. And everybody's family and loved ones and intimate partners, responded differently, right? And I know that you have an interesting story in reference to um, your path with
Right.
alopecia. Um, it was important for me to have you come on Sports-A-Delic, because as I told you, I was inspired, by your overall plight, because you could have just um, went into a shell and doubted yourself, but you decided to take your experience and pay it forward and help other men, women, and children, that suffer with this particular condition. Uh, Share with our viewers, your path, your story, and then I'll get into some other questions.
Okay. One 5 years ago, I used to wear short haircuts, and my barber had noticed a bald spot in the back of my head. He asked me, was I stressed out? And I asked why. He said, because you have a bald spot. And I panicked and I had him shave my hair off on the sides and I allowed the top to grow. But as time went on, I would notice when I combed, it would shed more and more and more. And I would put a weave on the top and say, I don't know what's going on, but I don't like this. So by the next year, it had gotten worse. And I had
Mm,
put one more weave on it just to make sure to say, well, I don't know why my hair is breaking off. But lo and behold, when I started scratching, my hair started popping off.
mm,
So I went back to the young lady that did my weave and I asked her to cut it out. And I can only imagine what her face looked like as she was cutting it out and my hair was just popping off. So by the time she turned me around and I looked in the mirror, all I had was like a couple of just spots, a little patches of hair left. I tried to put on this strong face like it didn't bother me, but deep down inside, I was terrified. So I walked down the block to the barber, and when I walked in, everyone just looked. So I sat in the barber chair. He asked me what happened, and I said, I don't know, but I need you to shave the rest of my hair off.
mm.
And after that, I jumped in a cab and I went home and cried because at first I didn't know what was going on. I had an idea, but I just said, not me. I was in denial. And as time went on, my eyebrows fell out, eyelashes fell off. I had a little mustache that fell off. And then I started to really examine my body like, what's going on? I lost everything. Every bit of hair that was on my body was gone. I hid for a little while because I didn't want anyone to see me. I was embarrassed. I felt the shame, like, why me?
Mm,
And when I went to the dermatologist, he said I had alopecia universalis. And I was like, oh my God. But I knew my hair wasn't going to grow back. So what I did, I hid, I cried, I looked in the mirror and said I was ugly. Nobody would want me. And after time went on, I noticed that it takes too much to hide. So then I decided, no, but first there's a quote that said, everything you want is on the other side of fear. So I decided that I wasn't going to hide any longer. I was scared because I didn't know what the outcome was when I walked outside, but I did. And all I was nervous looking around and everything, I bumped into one of the men that's normally outside, and he asked me what happened. And I told him that I have alopecia. And he said, well, at least you have a good shaped head. And from that point on, I decided to continue to go forward and not hide anymore, not caring if I didn't have eyelashes or eyebrows. And then this passion had grew in me to help others. So I went into other groups. I went on TikTok and I just started telling my story, encouraging other women, men, children, that there is life after this.
Well, what comes with that is what comes with the devastation of that. There has to also be possibly, I'm saying possibly, because I believe for me, it would have been traumatizing.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
And I know that you had shared with me at the time, your significant other, his response. Share with us
Oh,
what that was
wow.
like.
At the time, the man that I was dating, I told him what happened. And it was, you're still beautiful. You're still amazing. You're still, all of that. But when he actually saw me wanting to be free, he couldn't take it. He said that I can't be seen with you like that because they're not going to be able to tell who's a man.
Also, the breasts wouldn't. Did he have breasts?
Right. No, like I didn't have breasts. I didn't have female features.
No,
And
I'm
I
saying
think most of the
did
part
he
was
have
his own insecurities.
did he have
And
breasts?
no.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, it seems to me that if he's saying they wouldn't be able to tell, it's because his body was mirroring your body.
Right.
Because regardless of hair or not, the boobs, the derriere, the curve, the hips. Okay, but anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting. I was just okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I went back into hiding again. And after a while, I just said to myself, like, what are you doing? You fought so hard to become free, and now you're allowing somebody to put you back in that valley. So I just told him, I said, if you don't like me with no eyebrows, with no eyelashes, then that's your problem. I'm not going to continue to hide after I fought so hard to be free. I'm not going to allow you and your own insecurity to put me back into that shell. I refuse.
Well, sometimes there are vehicles that people will ride uh, because he didn't have to look for an excuse if he didn't want to be there.
Right.
And then if you don't want to be there, that's fine. But why try to damage me in the process of you leaving?
Right.
Now that's being re-victimized and traumatized, right?
Yes.
But you still just brushed off the dirt and kept on pushing, kept on, reinventing yourself.
Yes.
Um, and now, you're Miss D, the Baldy
Yes.
Babe, um, making things happen to bring more awareness about alopecia. I follow your Facebook page. You've been inspiring other people to let go of the wigs. Just, hey, I will, if you cut your hair off, if you video, I'll sit there with you and,
Yes.
support you through the process. What has that been like?
Um, it's been a joy because there are so many women whose family haven't seen them. I mean, they've seen them in a wig for like 15 years, 10 years, or some husbands have never seen them. But because I share my story and I encourage them to let them know that there is life after alopecia. This is not it. This is not the all be all. You're not going to die. You're perfectly healthy. You just lost your hair. And
Right,
I understand there's a journey everyone has to take going through. But now you have people that are standing with you to encourage you as you go through your journey. And I love when women send me messages like, thank you. I've decided to shave my head, and now my husband is helping me shave my head. Or, today is the day after 15 years, my family is going to see me in my full alopecia.
right. And like you said, that has to be a certain level of freedom, joy, and peace, I would think. And we live in a society where uh, how we look as women, and especially starting with our hair, is ultimately how we're going to be, defined. And I told you before, I would be lying if I said um, there's still some envy there, because I have to go through the rigmarole, shaving my legs and shaving under my arms, So I think you call it alopecia with perks.
Oh, yes, I have alopecia with perks.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, I envy you for that because it's a pain sometimes to to keep up with. But like I said, you just let it, motivate you and remotivate you and and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. Um, but I know that you were, let me ask you this. You received the award last night for your community service efforts of paying it forward, right? Um, but that's the first time since I've known you that I could say you were caught off guard, shocked, and blown away. Why? You have to know that at some point, people are going to recognize your contribution and share that contribution with others. And I think it was a wonderful event, a wonderful time. It was our Positive American Youth annual fundraiser event.
Yes.
And then you were able to make some other connections to keep pushing your mission forward.
Yes.
So, what was that like for you?
Wow, I was really taken aback. It felt good, but then I felt so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, he's calling me in front of the room, in front of everyone. And then, but it was, it felt good because now I can share my story with some people who don't know me or who might have seen me there and wondered, why was I bald? And know that it wasn't because of cancer. I was
Hmm.
able to tell people I had alopecia universalis, which made me feel really good.
Right. And also, um, I think we may not ever get to actually know, but there may be in some other people in the room that hiding a spot, and they may, just because of last night and seeing you and hearing the quick tidbits about your testimony, it may inspire them to, confront it and start to deal with it.
Yes.
But
Yes. Even as women were leaving, there was a young lady, I don't recall her name,
hmm
but she approached me also and she was telling me that her mom in Barbados had alopecia
mm,
and she doesn't like anyone to see her. And she said, "You said your name was Angie Davis." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, I'm going to have her look you up on Facebook." She said, "Because you're incredibly beautiful." And I said, "Thank you." And I said, "Please have her look me up because I want to find a way I can help her be free."
right. You know, I think it's also a testament to really how God performs miracles,
Yes.
using people, right? And um, testimonies have the power not just to heal the individual that's going through it, but those who don't think or feel that they have the courage to go through it and face it. They become hermits. They hide and don't feel, like you said, don't feel beautiful inside or out. Or you go from feeling A1, top of the line about yourself, down to below zero.
Right.
And that's why. And also share with everyone about Baldy Babes, how they can get involved, in your movement, because I think it
Oh,
can be freeing and healing for others.
okay. I created a group called the Baldy Babes to give women, men, or even children a safe space that you can be free in this group. You can show us what you look like in this group, and there will be no judgment. You won't be called any names. You will be encouraged. You will be told that you're beautiful. You will be told, "How can I help you to move forward? What can we do to inspire you to be free?" That's why I created Boldy Babes on Facebook. That's why I created Boldy Babes on Instagram. And also, I am Boldy Babes 52 on TikTok.
And I know that this is going to sound weird, but let people know that it's okay to be part of the group, although they may not have alopecia.
Uh, It is okay. The reason why I can't say that it's okay is because someone without alopecia, well, the only person that can be in the group is you, but someone who doesn't have alopecia can't, they don't know the struggle of someone who has it unless it's their family member or if they're standing in the gap for their family, doing it so their family can see. Because I have a young man, he's from Missouri. His name is Giovanni. His mom reached out to me. She doesn't have alopecia, but he does. And because he's a child, I allowed her to come into the group so we can support him through his mom. So he and I can have a video chat so he can also see that there's people like him
Right.
so he won't feel alone.
And I may have misspoke because I think that's what I mean. uh, because we have a plethora of information about multiple sclerosis, cancer, Lou Gehrig's disease, AIDS, even COVID. But when it comes to alopecia, people kind of go, hmm, I heard of it, but I, I didn't really know it was that deep. I didn't know that there's different types. And I think it's important because it sometimes it might have to be that family member that's gaining that wisdom, that knowledge, that education, also in a safe place to then be able to get that family member encouraged to join the group. You know, um, because it's educational. Um, like I know 10 times more than I ever thought that I would. You know, um, and some people may say, or some people may think, why is she talking about alopecia on her sports channel? Well, like I said, here at Sports-A-Delic, we talk about sports and everything else, like funkadelics. It's a blend of different genres of music, right? And there are athletes that have alopecia,
Yes, there are.
and it becomes education for everyone. And it's tough because you can imagine what it would have been like if you are the star basketball player as a young lady or the star softball player, and then you're hit with this condition because you play in front of crowds of hundreds and sometimes thousands of people, you know, and then now I have to do this, without, my hair. And let's face it, some women pride and joy begins and ends, with their hair, right? And so that's why it's important for us to do this educational awareness piece and send this video out. I don't care if one person that sees this video subscribe to my channel as much as they get the information,
Right.
help themselves, help someone else. That would be the goal of why I'm doing this particular piece. And I know that you spent a lot of time talking and interacting with me, and so I know that you know that to be true. Um, I have a couple more questions, if I may.
Okay.
Um, because um, I had someone reach out to me, and they was like, "So what's up? What's up? She like is she dating? She seeing somebody?" And I was like, "Yo, you gotta go. You gotta, you gotta. I cannot get into the Cupid piece. You have to, reach out to, Angie on your own accord." But my question to you is this: um, what does what does a man need? How does he support a woman that once had hair doesn't have hair anymore? Because I think those are useful tips as well. Like what is it? On the surface, we know, okay, support, but what does that really look like? Because it can be overwhelming too.
He has, first of all, he has to be confident because, people are really cruel and they say things. Not only will they say things to him about a woman, but they'll make him feel insecure. Like, man, she's bald. Like, you could do better than that.
Right.
But the support comes when you still, if she had hair then and she doesn't have it now, still treat her the same way as if she still has hair. And even if he knows his partner, that he could just encourage her, like, give her those words of affirmation. Baby, I still think you're beautiful. You know, if she has her head down, lift her head up, baby, hold your head up. Don't let me see you put your head down. And it's just him reaffirming what she knew before she lost her hair.
Right. Yeah, because I could see where a person, and then it doesn't have to be, heterosexual relationship. Anybody that you are in
Right,
love with or what have you, it's the same. Because I know that sometimes we can think we're helping a person, and it's just not the help that they really need or the help that they want. And I could see where it causes conflict because you just be like, get out of my face. That's not what I need from you, you know. And so that's why I wanted to ask you, just to give some tips out there to those that may have a partner, that's dealing with alopecia. Um, my next question is, what's next?
what's next? For me to continue with this movement, because although, the whole slap happened, and you see now it's quiet again.
Hmm.
It's quiet again. No one's really talking about alopecia. And I forgot there was another athlete. I forgot his name. He has alopecia universalis. And the people with these big platforms don't want to talk about it. And this information is so important. It needs to be out there. So I'm going to keep pressing forward. I'm going to keep moving forward. Um, I would also like to write a play that people can see this, the struggles of a person who doesn't have the support and has to fight their way, other than a person who has the support and can just move forward.
Right.
That's, it's been on my heart, and it's time to execute it now.
Okay. Okay. Well, certainly anything that I can do to help facilitate in the process, because contrary, uh, I I've always been a pretty confident person, and I can honestly tell you I don't know that I would be as confident, if I had to deal with, what you've had to deal with, to this point. I don't know that I would be, um, but I like knowing that if I have a family member, a niece, a nephew, what have you, uh, that I have now a resource that I didn't have before. Someone that I know that's gonna uh, break it down to them. And one thing that I want you to do before we get out of here this evening, would you share with the viewers um, the different types of, alopecia?
Okay. You have alopecia areata, is when you just see like patches, small patches in the head. Normally with that, people get the cortisone steroid shots, and their hair can grow back in. But alopecia areata, it progresses. It progresses. It becomes to totalis. And totalis alopecia is when you lose all the hair on your scalp. You'll still have all your body hair, but you'll just lose the hair on your head. Alopecia universalis is what I have. Alopecia universalis has perks because now you don't. It's total body hair loss. No more shaving, no more waxing, no more anything.
Yeah,
Then
well,
there's androgenetic alopecia. It starts in the part of your head and it spreads out, and which is also with men. Men get pattern male baldness, and then there's pattern female baldness. which normally starts in the center, in the crown of your head. You start losing hair in the crown. Most men, they won't go to the dermatologist to see what's going on. They'll just shave their head, which they really need to go and get that taken care of. Um, then you have ophasis alopecia, is where it starts balding from the back and from the sides.
Mm.
You have CCCA, is when your hair is like how can I say this? Like some inflammation is in the scalp, and it starts to break off and it can become worse. Then you have, postpartum alopecia, is when your hair starts to shed during pregnancy because of the drop in your estrogen. Then you have Barbe alopecia, where men will have bald spots in their beard.
Mm. I've
Yeah,
actually
those,
seen that a
the,
lot.
right. But some of the alopecias are like one and the same, because they're alopecias that they'll start here, but they'll have two different names. And frontal fibrosing alopecia is from when you wear your hair pulled real tight in the same position a lot, so which kills the follicle underneath, and then you get the overlapping of skin that covers the follicle, and your hair your hair will not grow.
Mm. Well, I, I think it falls under the autoimmune.
Autoimmune issues,
Yes, and
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 there are
and
different
that's why it needs to be checked out because there could
right,
be other things going on as well. Correct.
right.
So you want
So
to talk a
there's
little more
like,
about that?
cancer, lupus, celiac, Addison, all of those are underneath the umbrella of autoimmune. And when you have alopecia and thyroidism, it also opens up the door for other, autoimmune issues like those, the ones that I mentioned. So that's why it's so important that you go to the doctor and see what's going on with your hair loss.
That's awesome, awesome information, awesome stuff. Because I've always said, the body is whole. It's like is the thumb not important to the hand, right? And it's always good to just get totally thoroughly checked out because you can have some other issues going on. And I'm I think it's fair to say that early detection on anything, it's going to be better than the latter. You know.
Yes,
But thank you so much for joining Sports-A-Delic. Thank you
you're
for
welcome,
sharing.
and thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing your story. Congratulations again on your Pay It Forward award from Positive American Youth. Um, we were honored to make the right selection, and I think I can't wait until this time. Next year where you stand before the crowd and give that award to someone deserving. And so please keep me abreast of others like yourself that are taking the bull by the horn and making it toot toot toot, because we want to always let people know that they have our support alongside with you. So thank you. And again, would you explain to people how they can get in touch with Baldy Babes?
Okay, if you would like to get in contact with me, my name is Angie Davis on Facebook. I have a group called the Baldy Babes also on Facebook, my safe space for my alopecians to come in and be free. My name is also Baldy Babes on Instagram, and I'm Baldy Babes 52 on TikTok. You can reach me at any one of those. And my email is also baldybabes1@gmail.com.
Well, amen to that. And that's Angie, Angie Davis, Davis.
Yes.
And is there anything particular that you want the viewers to know, just in case there's 1 million Angie Davis? How do they know they got the right one?
They'll notice me. I'll be
Okay.
the bald lady in
Okay.
the
Well,
picture.
okay. Because with the fly glasses on.
Right.
Yeah. Don't forget that part. Don't forget that part. Like I said, thank you again for sharing your story, coming on to, my platform. And again, congratulations on your award. And
Thank you.
any and all times that, I can be a help, a resource for you in your movement, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. Okay.
I will. I will.
All right. Thank you and have a good night.